Hello, and welcome to the Tom Myers versus the Rest of the World 2024 Year in Recoil special. What a year it's been. 2024 was the year that saw a campaign season, celebrity deaths, and world events providing such a dystopian landscape that the shooting of the CEO of a healthcare company is the feel-good story of the year. This year saw the American people vote to return Donald Trump to the Oval Office. It also saw the beginning of the ushering of Project 2025. The initial steps will be gradual, however, with the Heritage Foundation hoping they can start out slowly by putting out Mein Kampf as a coloring book. We have seen more appointments for Donald Trump's next administration. He has selected Pam Bondi to replace Matt Gaetz as his choice for Attorney General. It's galling when an accused sex trafficker and a corrupt Florida Attorney General make current Attorney General Merrick Garland look competent. Donald Trump appointed Kash Patel to be the head of the FBI. Kash Patel wants to get rid of the intelligence division of the Bureau, thus eliminating any intelligence associated with Trump and his White House. This nomination left Americans asking the question, where is J. Edgar Hoover and his penchant for finding out people are homosexuals when you really need him? Linda McMahon, wife of the former head of World Wrestling Entertainment, was appointed to head the Department of Education. Presumably because Jeffrey Epstein isn't around anymore. Carrie Lake, who failed in her efforts to become governor and senator for Arizona in back-to-back elections, is being appointed to be the head of the Voice of America World News Service. It's fitting as, at the moment of recording, the Voice of America is basically a schizophrenic taking ketamine. This year saw outgoing President Joe Biden pardon his son, Hunter. It would be fitting if he had written out the pardon using his son's borrowed laptop.
Oh.
Hunter Biden, of course, was convicted on charges of lying on a government document when he applied for a gun. He lied about being on drugs at the time. It's hard to say that doing drugs such as crack is bad when it makes you commit the most boring gun crime in the world. It is hard to tell people not to do crack when one of the more notable warnings is that it makes you lie on an application. Don't do crack, man. I'll tell you why. I lost my job, then my wife, then my kids, then my car, then my house. Oh, yeah? Well, I did crack and it made me lie on an application to buy a gun. It's not the flex you think it is. Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito came under criticism this year for flying pro-January 6 flags outside of his home. He blamed his wife for flying the flags. Putting the blame on her means he may have to sleep on the couch for a time. Although I've seen a picture of Mrs. Alito, and that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Oh.
Good way to start.
This year saw everyone leave Twitter for an app called Blue Sky, which is fitting because with the new administration's environmental goals, in 4 years' time, it will be the only blue sky we'll be able to see. In one of the few bright spots of 2024, the famed Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris reopened after a fire which damaged the structure 5 years earlier. It took this long to rebuild because they had to move the bodies of all the altar boys who threatened to squeal. The American Girl doll of the year was named. Her name is Summer McKinney. She's from Maryland. Shout out. Which means if you piss her off, she will run you down in her brother's F-150. PBS aired its A Capitol Fourth special this year, and it was sponsored by, of all companies, Boeing. That's fitting, as all of Boeing's planes have been falling apart and exploding in the air while spectators scream, ooh, ah. And now on with the show. Joining me to go ahead and discuss 2024 are Jeff Hysen, Gina Brown, and Jess Feeney.
Hello.
Hey, Tom.
Good, Mom.
Welcome back, everyone. Hope you enjoyed your holiday break.
Yeah, it's been a big year for Maryland. Maryland was cited on Saturday Night Live. The hunky assassin was from Maryland, and Tom Myers versus the rest of the world made it through another year.
Yeah,
What could you ask for?
It's interesting, because there's so many local stuff with this assassin. There's a reason they call Baltimore one of the nicknames is Smalltimore or Tiny Town. because like the guy is from Towson, so like less than 30 minutes from where I live. And then I was talking to my mother about it, and she said, "Oh yeah, I taught two of his sisters." So there really is like a local. It's become like a local news story and a national news story. And what's weird is like I've heard a lot of conspiracy theories about, oh, this guy he was just a setup. He was a patsy. I'm like, no, like
He was a patsy.
a high level like assassin from Maryland really is that stupid. Like only a Marylander could get caught by the police because he got a hankering to stop at a McDonald's because he heard the McRib is coming back. Like that's
Man,
a Maryland assassin in a nutshell.
can you blame him? I mean, come on.
Yes, the McRib is shit.
I mean,
Like, he could have come back home to Timonium, the corner stable, best ribs in the state.
Yeah,
nobody
there's
would've
there's
looked there.
exactly. There's a lot of things he could have done that he did not do.
Right. Like, just go back to Hawaii. By the time they figured out, no one was going to search Hawaii.
I mean, just maybe lay low and don't go in public for a while. I don't know. He started off,
So how's everyone else's 2024?
mixed
great.
bag. I mean, mixed bag.
It was great until November.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, you can't just be like, "Oh, I had a great 2024." Like,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
you're not. No one's allowed to say that. But I can't say that it was all bad. I feel like that's getting too caught up in the recent past. I feel like I had some good moments. I just can't recall them right now
Recall them,
because because I've been distracted.
Right. That's what happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, same here. I don't think it was all bad. It was busy. I like busy. So.
Yeah.
I love how Jess said she couldn't remember like anything that positive that happened on 2024, and then like completely forgetting she started doing more episodes of this show. Is like, yeah, the whole year's been shit. Absolutely,
That was it. No, that was it. That was the one thing. That was,
You are a highlight, Tom.
see, it's because I'm in it right now. I wasn't thinking about it, but you're right. That was my gold star, 2024. Mark
is
it
just-
down.
This is just a conversation among friends. This isn't even a podcast, and it's certainly not one of those podcasts that a lot of my critics on other podcasts say, where I just give you a look or a signal and you laugh at something, right?
No, never. I didn't even know it was supposed to be funny.
Good one.
Joining us on the first part of this year in review episode, please welcome back to the show retired Army Major, former West Virginia State Senator, former congressional candidate, and former presidential candidate, Richard Ojeda.
How you doing?
Right.
Richard, welcome back.
Always a pleasure to be on there, Tom.
Yeah, I have been listening to your show, Ojeda Live, like religiously. I should say you have been like you're always very animated. You always get to the point. But in the past month or month and a half, I would say you've definitely been you've definitely been motivated. You've been on fire, I'd say, to say the least.
I mean, I think that everybody should be. At this point right now, there's three branches of government. There's the legislative branch, the judicial branch, and the executive branch. I have not seen an Elon Musk branch. And you know what? I mean, I kind of feel like we're watching our democracy, being taken from us. And this is the time for people to be angered. This isn't the time to play nice with these people.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, he literally bought an entire election just with the use of his platform.
Yeah, if you want to get rid of immigrants, start with him. The guy who shows up and buys an election, who uses his platform to spew nothing but lies. It just sickens me to realize, how can we be in this situation? How did this guy get the ability to do the things that he's been able to do? I mean, it kills me when I keep hearing people talk about immigration. And what they're doing is they're talking about light brown people to dark brown people. That's all they care about. They don't care about people like Elon Musk. And once again, as far as I'm concerned, this guy stole the election. I can give to any candidate who is running for federal office $2,800 for the primary election and $2,800 for the general election. $5,600 is all that I am allowed to give. But this jackaloon can daggone spend $250 million for Donald Trump, and he can use his platform to spew absolute lies. And we already know that the things that he said were absolute lies. I mean, how is it that this guy gets to prey on the poorly educated and he gets to win? I mean, that's the downside to this is I'm starting to realize that, we have the billionaire class and the rules and regulations that we are held accountable to, they're not. And we're starting to see that. We're starting to see that. But
I would submit that the interesting part is that most of the people who put him in place were not billionaires. So it's a bit ironic, right? But obviously Elon made a lot of things happen, but the people who support him largely, they don't have a pot to piss in.
Look, I come from Southern West Virginia. I'm telling you, I cannot tell you how many times I've driven by homes where the only thing that was holding the front porch up was the Trump flag. And I don't understand it. The poorest people that struggle the most, and, literally they think that he is their guy. When Donald Trump showed up, believe it or not, I was running for Congress in 2018, and it was the R plus 54, and I was actually winning. I was ahead of Carol Miller. And Donald Trump come to Charleston, West Virginia, put on a coal miner's cap and acted like he was working an invisible shovel. And they were like, it's like baby Jesus. And that was it. I mean, my numbers started to drop. And what's really messed up is that it still doesn't matter. You don't have to do anything for these people. All you have to do is claim Trump. Let me tell you something. Carol Miller, the woman who defeated me, just won her 4th term in Congress. Do you know that she's never brought one single penny back to West Virginia except a $3.1 million PPP loan for her? And she keeps getting elected, and she keeps getting elected because all you have to do is go on the daggone television and go, I'll do whatever Donald Trump wants. And the people absolutely go crazy for it. They're going to get nothing from this. As a matter of fact, their lives are going to get worse. If you think that Donald Trump and Elon Musk are going to elevate the poor out of poverty, goodness gracious, then you must have voted for Donald Trump.
Right. And that's the irony of it all, is that most of us who didn't support him, we're actually probably going to be less impacted by some of the taxes that he puts in place. Some of us may even benefit from some of the programs that he puts in place, but we know better, right? So that's the interesting part of it. I'm like, I'll be okay, but there are a lot of other people who won't.
I tell everybody all the time. I'm like, look, I said I'm going to be able to survive a lot longer than you will. I guarantee you, you're barely right now where your nose is above the waterline. Well, my chin is above the waterline. So I'm going to last longer than you're going to last. Yeah. But make no mistake about it, you're about to feel some serious pain because these people don't care about nobody. Let me tell you something. All they want is more tax cuts. And let me tell you something. You cannot quench the greed in these people. It doesn't matter. We already know that Elon Musk is eyeing the trillionaire title. That's what he wants. And make no mistake about it, if he makes it, he probably will within the next 6 months, the way things are going. He's not going to stop at $1 trillion. He's going to want $2 trillion. It doesn't matter. And we also know that it never trickles. Anytime they think that there's any money that might trickle down to anybody else, they find a bigger plate. That's exactly what happens. And the people that really, really did love Donald Trump because he says the same things that we say, those are the ones that are going to be hurt the most. And look, there is going to come a time when we do get to say, we told you so. We told you so. But make no mistake about it. We're not happy about that. We told you that you shouldn't have supported this guy. But make no mistake about it. You're being hurt, but there's also a lot of people that we love that are also going to be hurt. And that is what's really messed up.
Yeah.
Remember Herschel Walker? Yeah, me neither. And the memory lapse appears to not only affect us, but Herschel Walker himself, as we can see in this clip where during the campaign he attempts to make a very vocal presidential endorsement.
And it is time for it to stop. and it stopped on Tuesday when we get to the polls and we vote for my friend and your friend, Donald Trump Jr. Donald Trump, Donald J. Trump.
I mean, it's nice when it's nice when you see just someone absolutely short circuit, like right before the sparks go off. That's entertaining, kind of.
My friend and your friend, whose name I do not recall.
Is Donald Trump a junior?
No, but Donald Trump Jr. is a junior. Like, that is a real person that exists. Like,
let me tell you what's really messed up about that is you do realize giving Herschel Walker the ambassadorship spot to the Bahamas, it's because Donald Trump thinks that's a black job. you do realize? Remember Ben Carson in his first administration?
Yes.
That was his one black guy, and what did Ben Carson do? HUD. Now everybody's wondering how come Donald Trump is picking only white guys and mostly billionaires, and then what does he do? He finally names another person of color back to HUD, and now this is the next because Donald Trump thinks that the Bahamas is a black job. Because there's black people there.
I spent 31 years working for the federal government. My son is currently a federal employee. He won't be in January, but he is now. So federal service is important to me. And what it means is important to me. And this is just in the way he puts inarticulate and unqualified corrupt people in these positions, makes a mockery of federal service. And maybe that's what he's intending. I don't think he started through that way, but it's just very upsetting to me.
I will tell you that, I am glad that I never had to serve under Donald Trump. But I also know that, regardless of their thoughts about, removing the top leaders in this country, which is the continuity, by the way, and placing Pete Hegseth, a guy that's a National Guardsman, a major in the National Guard. I'm sorry, but a week in a month and 2 weeks a year isn't enough for you to, be able to handle business at the Pentagon.
Shit.
But I'm going to tell you that, to me, you have the duty to deny any order if it is unlawful, illegal, or immoral. And I'm hoping that our senior leadership is ready to do just that. Because make no mistake about it, we cannot allow our military to fall. If we do, it's because of these jackaloons. That's what this will be for. And I'm hoping that we have enough people that are willing to stand their ground. I don't care. Pete Hegseth is garbage. But if they place him in charge, I hope that our military has no issues at all checking him. I've even heard a story that said that they may actually laterally promote him to one-star general. What a slap in the face to everybody out there who's ever served in uniform. That's a fact. What the
hell?
I know, it's like even Obama kept Bush's guy for 2 years? I think it was the I think it was the defense secretary. He kept one of those cabinet positions of Bush's for 2 years or something before he could nominate his own guy, just at least for purposes of continuity. Because you go from someone like Lloyd Austin to like the weekend guy, the weekend guy at Fox who
let me tell
loves dancing on strip club stages.
Lloyd Austin is a warrior. He was actually my brigade commander in the 82nd Airborne Division when he was in the 505th Parachute Infantry Regiment. Now, I was attached to the 2nd 505th, and he was the brigade commander. He's a Silver Star recipient. He is brilliant. He is an amazing leader. And you're going to replace him with a guy who, has issues with sexual assault. He's a drunk. What a slap in the face. I mean, this is our military you're talking about. This is the most powerful military on the face of the earth. Let me tell you something. We now know that these dictatorships don't know how to fight. North Korea can't fight. They can march, but they can't fight. Russia can march, but they sure as hell can't fight. And Ukraine is showing that. Right now is not the time to put incompetence in charge of our military, because I'm telling you right now, This is a rough world right now. And the last thing we need to do is watch our military get tanked.
Donald Trump was not the only one with legal troubles that cost him millions of dollars. His former attorney, Rudy Giuliani, was given a $148 million judgment against him in a defamation claim brought against him by two 2020 election workers in Georgia. In this clip, we see the former New York City mayor reiterating the claims that cost him so heavily before his attorney stops him.
Any regrets about defaming Ruby Freeman and Shane Austin?
No! I did not. First of all, I didn't defame him. I did not defame him.
That's on appeal, my friend.
May I just make a couple of comments?
Mr. Can I talk?
Let's keep some perspective.
It is kind of interesting, you see like a major news event and you see the minutia of it in real time. And it's almost like, when you're a kid and your parent tries to tell you, listen, we're going to go over to Uncle So-and-so's house. He might say some stuff, but just listen, just play along. We'll move things along. You'll be okay. Just don't ignore that. Ignore what they're saying.
This was
At one
America's
point,
mayor. Yeah, but
Okay.
see, Rudy Giuliani said that he's not ashamed of doing what he did. I remember when he said I believe it was they were passing this around like it was like some type of drug, little hard drive.
Oh my
or something.
God!
This was America's mayor. This is what happens when you basically give your loyalty to Donald Trump. It doesn't end well for you. This guy was America's mayor, and now he's an absolute joke that will probably die penniless because he has no money. He should go to prison for the things that he's done, for the damage he did to those two women. Imagine being in Georgia, two women of color, and then all of a sudden the entire election is blamed on these two women that he said was passing around voter information, like it was, I believe he said crack cocaine. Once again, this is Rudy Giuliani. And look, I have no pity for this guy. I hope he loses everything.
I don't have any pity for him either. I wish he didn't have a future. I wish it all ended today. But you say he was America's mayor, but I would submit that you need to talk to any black person in New York City that he was never their mayor ever. So.
Oh no, I have no doubts about that. Doubts about that. But after 9/11, he was the face.
Right.
But the guy's garbage. He is absolute garbage. Yeah, he's incompetent. And once again, he's not a smart man. Anybody should know. Anybody who puts themselves inside Donald Trump's orbit usually loses.
Hunter Biden has come under a lot of attacks from Republicans this year. In fact, the only thing of which Republicans haven't accused Hunter Biden is providing cocaine to Donald Trump Jr. The irony is that Joe Biden could have gotten rid of the Sleepy Joe moniker if he had just dipped into his son's stash. True to form, Republican members of Congress, unable to find enough evidence on Hunter to impeach his father, are quick to jump on the pardon, as we see in Missouri Senator Josh Hawley's remarks in this clip.
I think the idea that he would use the pardon power to protect his closest family member, and not, by the way, you've all seen the pardon now, it is truly sweeping. Mm-hmm. It sweeps in all of his Ukrainian activity, it sweeps in all of his foreign dealings. It is stunning. Let's be honest, Hunter Biden would be in prison already if he didn't have the name Biden behind his first name.
Oh my God, dude.
I would love to have that lack of self-awareness.
Fuck off.
Remember,
I fucking hate these people.
Oh my God, you said the fuck word. You said the F word. I know I could cuss, daggone.
I know you were calling everybody a jackaloon. I was like, say something else.
Yeah, that's kind of good. I like that.
He wouldn't have even been prosecuted.
Exactly.
First off, right now, they've already got people that have now come up and said that they lied about the bribery stuff. So, and I also love it. Janine Pirro was throwing stones at Hunter Biden as well. Her husband got a pardon from Donald Trump for tax evasion. It amazes me how these people are. And Josh Hawley should have daggone asked for a pardon for being such a chicken shit running away on January the 6th.
Truly.
They're not good people. I look at Josh Hawley on January 6th when he stuck his fist up in solidarity with the crowd. And then when they start really starting to bust some things up, he runs through the halls scared to death trying to save himself.
Yeah.
These are not good people. they're just not. Elon Musk is not a good person. Rudy Giuliani is not a good person. Their lawyers, all these people, none of these are good. None of them are good people.
I mean, I love how he was just like, he's only not in jail because his last name is Biden. Well, Trump is not in jail because his last name is Trump.
Truly.
So,
And let me tell you something. That's what really bothers me more than anything, is that there's no reason Donald Trump should have been escorted out of the Oval Office on January the 6th in handcuffs.
Yeah.
You know, let me tell you, as a person who held a top secret security clearance, I'm going to tell you, when I see those photographs of those boxes in the bathroom at Mar-a-Lago, let me tell you something. When they put those boxes on a U-Haul truck and transported them down to Florida, that right there alone was a felony. You are not, there are specific rules and regulations to how you transport items like that.
Remember when that happened? No one else does.
But, I mean, that's the thing, is that there's so much people that have been caught with one single document. It's normally a 5-year sentence. With one document, 5 years, right off the bat. Donald Trump had 126 boxes, thousands upon thousands of classified documents sitting in a daggone bathroom. And I'm going to tell you, I don't care what anybody says. I guarantee you that Donald Trump probably had some people that showed up at Mar-a-Lago that he said, okay, look, go to the restroom, third box to the left, go down, open it up, you'll find what you need to find. I guarantee you that Donald Trump would sell our secrets. I bet you he has. Remember, he's the one that said, I want to get a list of all of our spies that we have working for us. And shortly after they gave him that list, all of a sudden, we had people getting arrested and even prosecuted and murdered. I mean, these are not good people.
And on that note, it's time to go ahead and say a big thank you and goodbye to Richard.
I had a great time. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate the conversation. Y'all have a happy holidays.
Joining us in the second part of this episode to discuss the year, please welcome back to the show, Alyson Chadwick.
Awesome. Thank you.
Alyson, welcome back to the show. Pleasure having you. How's your
here. Thank you.
Yeah, how's your 2024 been? What's your view of it and how things have gone?
I'm pretty much a dumpster fire and a train wreck. Politically anyway, like they have a cruise that you can take for 2 or 4 years to escape the Trump administration. And if I could take my cats, I would figure out a way to do that cruise, but can't take your cats. So I'm stuck in the United States under the dictator and Elon's dictator-in-chief, President Musk. Yeah.
right.
Hilarious.
Yeah, but I'm going on a cruise tomorrow, so it's all going to be good.
Nice.
Are you staying through inauguration?
Unfortunately, I'll be back January 2nd.
Yeah. So I know somebody who told me yesterday that she is very specifically leaving the country, I think on the 18th, to go to London and just gonna be there for a bit.
That sounds like a great plan.
Yeah.
It says, let's celebrate Martin Luther King Day, like inaugurating Cheeto.
Please don't remind me.
Well, I think I did read something where I think it was Martin Luther King's niece or something. It's Bernice King, I think, who said that something along the lines where it's sort of a blessing in disguise that the inauguration's happening on Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday, because that brings to the forefront like everything that he taught. It sort of reminded us of what we're still fighting and still struggling for to an extent.
Oh, I thought you were going to say we should be peaceful.
We'll be peaceful at 11:59 in the afternoon, and then once 12 noon hits, it's all systems a go.
Yeah, right. Good times.
The results of the American presidential election have had varying effects around the rest of the world. And if there is one moment that shows us how a country like Russia and other authoritarian regimes will own us come January, it's this bizarre and awkward moment from Russian TV shortly after the election.
Мелания Трамп, муж, наконец, победил, готовится во второй раз стать хозяйкой Белого дома. После безумной кампании 2024 года, когда на ее мужа совершили сразу 2 покушения, пребывание в Вашингтоне покажется ей еще более напряженным, чем первый президентский срок Трампа. СМИ предсказывают, что она будет появляться там лишь тогда, когда сама этого захочет. А если не захочет, просто исчезнет. Своевольно и таинственно она неизменно поддерживает Дональда, но держится в стороне от политики. А вот так Мелания выглядела в 2000 году. Смотрите, обложка глянцевого журнала JQ. Будущая первая леди в неглиже лежит на шкуре. В самом журнале сексуальные фото Мелании у частного самолета и на его борту. На одном из снимков модель в бордовом белье лежит на синем ковре с изображением большой печати США, государственной эмблемы Америки. Как будто в редакции мужского журнала что-то знали заранее о будущем своей модели.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, Trump was right when he did say that the rest of the world was laughing at us, but it's not really the way he thinks.
Even there was a female anchor
Just
there.
standing there.
Yeah, and she was starting to laugh at the end at that.
She didn't smile until the pictures of Melania came on.
Yeah.
She was like captured, and then as soon as those pictures came, she was like, could have been me.
Crazy Americans.
But here we would never point something like that out. The Democrats certainly wouldn't, because they have to
really
be above
understand
board.
Why isn't his bestie the Russian?
Yeah, it's funny because throughout that whole clip, I couldn't tell if they were in favor of her or if they were like dragging her. I was like, are they trying to embarrass her or are they complimenting her? They said that thing about like, and when he doesn't want to see her, she disappears.
And she's mysterious. Yeah, what?
And because she's mysterious. I'm like, you guys are all over the map here. I can't tell if you're like being ironic. In your shade against this woman?
I think Russia's been the bestie, like in the same way, like if your bestie was a dominatrix, then that would make more sense.
They're laughing at you behind they're your bestie because you pay them. Yeah.
I also have to point out, and this is minor in comparison to all of the other things that go on, but she's not going to be staying in the White House where it is secure and where her Secret Service protection is supposed to be. So she's going to be staying in New York ostensibly so she can be near her son who's in college at NYU. That's what she says. I think part of it, she wants to be away from,
of course, have a
her
life.
husband, but she's going to be in New York. So that means extra money being spent on security in New York to protect her there, not here where there's an infrastructure in place to protect her. So it's going to be in New York, plus the infrastructure has to be in New York to protect the son. This is a great expense to the taxpayers.
But they don't care about that. I mean, look at how much time he spent at Mar-a-Lago, where not only is he charging the Secret Service and other government entities as much as possible, but he's making money on the deal, and it's cost a ton every time he went to Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah, no, every time he goes to,
you have staff, you have communications, you have hundreds of people that you have to put up every time you go somewhere.
That's a great point, Alyson, because every time he plays golf at one of his facilities, the Secret Service rents a cart so they can follow him around.
No, I did advance for President Clinton. I know exactly how many people have to go everywhere, and he's not getting the government rate to these people. He's charging them like 3 times the government rate.
Right.
To stay at Mar-a-Lago, and they can't stay anyplace else. They've got to stay in the same place he's at. So he just rakes it in every time he goes to one of his properties.
Right, and then his staff stays there, and he charges.
The government.
The government for that. So it's all grift.
Yeah. But how about his wife's titties, huh? I just can't figure out. I mean, as you guys have exemplified so beautifully, there's so much you could go after. I don't know why. And they left those pictures up way too long. I think they had them like on a loop. I saw a couple of those pictures twice. I'm like, we get it. And like, I don't know. It seems so odd to focus on. I don't know.
That one on the animal skin?
Right.
The one where she's naked, like full frontal naked. They blurred some of them out, but some of them she was just naked.
I mean, I was happy to see the co-anchor smiling, honestly. Yeah. I mean, I felt like she was a hostage until she parted her lips to smile. right? So
Yeah.
Usually it's me they make pose like that, but now we have future American First Lady.
Yeah.
Tom, this is I've done a lot of these shows, and we've said a lot of things here, but that's the first time that the phrase "How about his wife's titties" has ever been said. So chalk that one up. Good one by Jess.
Yeah. Well, and good that Jess said it and not you, Jeff.
I wish I didn't have to say it. I wish this clip did not exist. But
I think that phrase was used a lot for Eleanor Roosevelt.
Yeah.
A little bit for,
She was the original.
She was the original, yeah.
In this clip, we can see Trump supporter and maybe cabinet hopeful Mike Davis express his dismay about New York Attorney General Letitia James and the verdict against Donald Trump's illicit business practices.
Let me just say this to Big Tish James, the New York Attorney General. I dare you to try to continue your lawfare against President Trump in his second term, because listen here, sweetheart, we're not messing around this time, and we will put your fat ass in prison for conspiracy against rights.
Oh my
I
God.
promise you that. So think long and hard before you want to violate President Trump's constitutional rights or any other American's constitutional rights. It's not going to happen again.
Oh my God.
Gina, you were just saying that people treat women of color differently.
Yeah, no,
they do. They treat their sweethearts and fat ass.
Fat ass.
And if it's PHAT, then admittedly, Jess, that's okay.
He is pretty hot and tempting.
Right. So that I'll take that one.
It's nauseating.
Well, the best is if you try to go after his constitutional rights. What constitutional rights? Do we have them to do illegal business?
Yeah.
And I saw Letitia James speak right before the election. She's not afraid of anything or anyone. No. I think she's laughing at that, going, yeah, okay, whatever.
Dude, but like Tish James is so by the book and just so fair and non-partisan. She is just about the business, I've seen her in interviews where they try and ask her about legal proceedings and she's like, I'm not going to discuss that, blah, blah, blah. She's a fucking pro. And she's
a dynamo.
Yeah, she's almost unimpeachable. The fact that he's going to come after her this way.
Let's hope.
Well, right, yeah.
I mean, it's New York State. It doesn't matter what he does for the Fed, right? New York State can still, it may never go anywhere, but they can still go after him. Right, Jeff?
Right. They can, but the jurisdiction is going to be limited, and they may just feel that they shouldn't even bother.
Yeah.
I mean, sadly, they're kind of right. I mean, look at the situation we're in.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
The
highest court in the land is completely at his whim right now. What? I mean, how can you really? And he's president. You can't prosecute him for shit. It's
That's a shame. And maybe the stress will give him a health event. I hope he's okay.
Ooh.
He eats such a healthy diet and exercises so much that he's fit.
That was sincere, Gina.
From the heart.
Gee.
This year, Maryland became the first state to select a transgendered woman as its winner for the Miss USA pageant. This year has been groundbreaking in many ways. While it seems as though this year's election did not see women break the glass ceiling of all glass ceilings and saw the re-election of Donald Trump, that does not mean that women didn't make some progress this year, as Miss Kansas winner Alexis Smith shows us in this clip.
My vision as the next Miss Kansas is to eliminate unhealthy and abusive relationships. Matter of fact, some of you out in this audience saw me very emotional because my abuser is here today. But that's not going to stop me from being on this Miss Kansas stage and from representing as the next Miss Kansas.
One on two wins the crown and become Miss Kansas 2024. She says that she had experienced an emotionally abusive relationship that led her to lose contact with family and friends.
When I first saw him, it was shock. Then that was the fight or flight. When I ran down the stairs, the tears were more frustration of not understanding why. Why now? Why are we here? It's not the first time that he has shown up at a pageant. You know, I needed to let him know right then and there that, yes, you're on my mind right now, but you're not going to take this opportunity away from me.
Wow.
And thank you, you know, for being an example and reminding me exactly why I'm here. And I'm going to lead by that example for absolutely everyone that is victimized, that are survivors of domestic violence, and create that impact.
Wow. God bless her.
Yeah. In person too. That was impressive.
That was impressive.
That's incredible. She's so strong. Holy shit.
Yeah.
And in what a high stress situation.
That must have took just an overwhelming amount of courage. I'm so impressed by that woman.
Yeah, it's the balls because like it's what was it, Miss America?
Miss Kansas.
Miss Kansas. In any like huge pageant setting, like it's all about like poise and, you know, pageantry and how appealing can you be? And I don't think anything about that suggested she gave a fuck about being appealing. She was speaking her truth and saying, you know, what needed to be said. And holy shit, is it gratifying to hear somebody use that kind of a platform to make that kind of a statement. And wow.
Yeah.
That was great. I wish I had a joke for that, but that was just
no jokes.
No jokes.
Beautiful.
No jokes, no notes. That was awesome.
That was spectacular.
Yeah.
It's so good. Like I agree with all that. It's so great to see someone use that platform for something like that rather than just, I don't know, talk about how they want world peace or whatever.
Yeah.
Truly. I mean, like, world peace is a fine answer. That's something that everybody can agree on. It's safe. You know, I can see why a lot of these that's such a trope, you know. It would have been so easy to come up with something that like everybody could agree on and go, "Wow, that's nice. That makes me feel warm and fuzzy." But she
going
decided
after his ass is actually achievable. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's an uncomfortable thing to hear, to be like, not only like to hear that this woman, you know, who is like beautiful and talented, that she's been abused, but that he's abusing her in this moment. He's abusing her.
Yeah.
Like,
I just think
wow.
the time for warm and fuzzy is not now.
Yeah.
At that time, and this is not the time to be warm and fuzzy.
Truly. And the fact that she understood that and like took advantage of the moment, like, wow, that was mind blowing.
It seems like that was I think I was saying that it might have been her platform. Yeah, no, I actually I'm not going to get into it on this episode, but I have been where she is, not for any particular state, but so not as fancy, but definitely I can understand that when you start doing things, there's somebody that comes out of the woodworks that should not still even be upright, that comes out and makes their presence known. And when you have the opportunity to call them out on their bullshit, like, I think it's beautiful. Like, I applaud her. But I think she probably brought it up because it was probably a platform of hers.
And that seems like a good note on which to end this segment. Alyson, thank you so much for joining us. Enjoy your cruise, by the way. By the time this episode comes out, you will be relaxing far better than
absolutely,
than the rest of us. What about when you come back? Got anything planned?
On January 11th, I'll be at a room 52 in New York City. It's 212 East 52nd Street. Doors open at 6:30. Show starts at 7.
Awesome. Well, you definitely want to go check that out. Thank you so much, Alyson.
Bye, Alyson.
Thank you for having me.
And joining us in the final part of this episode to discuss 2024, please welcome back to the show, Sidney Allen.
Yay!
Yeah.
How's it going? How y'all doing?
All good things, man. All good things. Welcome back. It's been a while. Been way too long. Pleasure seeing you. How's your 2024 been since we're kind of wrapping things up for the year?
It's been an interesting year. You know, going to face a little bit of tragedy. Financially, it's been probably one of my best years ever, especially as an artist. I got to say that, but at the same time, I've suffered some family tragedy. So it's just like I'm at a point now, like I remember in Click when he finally got where he was going, but it came at a big price. He even said it to himself. All your dreams finally came true, huh, moron? Like that's kind of where I'm at right now. Like I'm at a point. I've reached the point that I can't go back. I'm too far in. But yeah, it's been a very interesting year for me. Very interesting.
Yeah, there usually is a lot of like hardship and sacrifice and heartache to get to where one wants to go, which seems to be the perfect metaphor for where we're at now. We're kind of in the middle of all that at the moment.
Amen to that. Yes.
I mean, hopefully we get to where we want to go. Shit.
I'll tell you this right now. From what I'm seeing between these drones and everything, it's 25 is going to be a kind of a big ass reveal. I feel like, you know, we'll see.
I don't know that there is a way to prepare oneself for what we're about to see.
There isn't. Just don't panic and pace yourself and go the opposite direction that everyone else is going. Don't. Right. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Well, you were on the right show for that. I'll tell you what, right now.
Appreciate it, man. I'm in the right show. I'm going to bring my mom here one day just for you, Jeff.
No. Dear God in heaven. Don't you dare.
Hey, Jeff. She got 6 more flags on that truck, man.
After a year of behaving like Satan incarnate over the course of this campaign season, Fox decided to take a similarly cringe approach for the recognition of the holiday season, as this disturbing clip shows us.
Welcome to the All-American Christmas tree lighting, and we're really excited to officially start the holiday season. It's cold and raining outside, but it's nice and toasty here in Studio F. And just upstairs is our Fox viewing party. We're going to be outside to light the tree later, but first, this time of the year is all about faith, family, and friends.
I think what the producer was telling him off the screen was, okay, we want you to look like hostages who will be killed if you don't wave excitedly.
That's the guy whose mother won't invite him over for Thanksgiving, right?
Yep, that's him.
No, good. I don't
think so.
It looked like one of those old commercials, like car dealership commercials, where like at the end everyone's like,
"Yeah,
come and see us today," and no one's waving like a human. Everyone's doing the window washer, this thing.
It's very automated.
Yeah, I am surprised that he said holiday season.
Yeah, I didn't expect to hear that from that.
Yeah,
I thought he was going to elaborate on it. Yeah,
no, he didn't.
I know he didn't.
Did he even say? Did he say the word Christmas? He didn't say the word. He said faith. He said it's about faith, which is kind of like a nod to what I assume they're trying to say. But he didn't even say Christmas. It's so funny how they go by these rules without even realizing that they do it, because it really isn't just like you have to say this. It's just the natural thing to say.
Right.
When you know that there's multiple holidays being celebrated, and they're like, oh, no one says Merry Christmas yet. Of course they do. Of course they do. They also say Happy Hanukkah. They also say everything else.
Right.
We can say whatever we want, you know,
Yeah.
contrary to what you keep trying to push. And we do say it, you know, it's like how they say like, oh, well, I never refer to a person as they. Yes, you do. Like, oh, well, I've never used pronouns. What the fuck are you talking about? You can't go a whole day without using a pronoun. You know, like, again, it's the double standard. It's the double standard.
Rack 'em, Queen.
Thank you.
And finally, if there is any hope to be gotten from this past year, it's that there is some humanity left on this planet. Take, for example, this tense exchange between a restaurant owner and a patron over the use of a racial slur.
No, that's what you did.
But we spend our green money.
And then they come. Wait a minute. Hey, wait a minute. Then you come out here.
Call the police.
Please, we need a report. Please, call it. Oh, we need a report.
You called us some niggas and you called us the police? Come on, Ken.
Hey, you messed up, man.
No, I didn't mess up.
Yeah, you did. Because this is their first time experiencing. They're friends of mine here.
That was
and then
not,
you want to make me feel bad because I sat down at the table and then you asked me if I'm going to consult with these NIGGERS.
No.
Yeah, that's exactly what you said. Every one of them heard it.
No, they did not.
Yes, they did.
They was all inside.
Yes, they did. And then when I got pissed off and you knew I was pissed, you went and hid behind the bushes.
No.
And I walked right around there and couldn't find you. That's not right. This is their first time here.
That was.
I was just bragging. Ask everyone. Yeah. I was bragging how good it was to come here. And they wanted to come back until you showed your ass out here and had a problem with race.
Today is my son's 22nd birthday. He has to encounter this? Really?
That's not right. You should be
ashamed of yourself, man.
So you know what? We're not going to have anything else to say. We're not causing problems. I'm making my point to you. These are my friends. I've known him a long time.
Our first time down here, and he called all this.
And when I come out, you confront me for talking to him. You say, so you condone this? That's what you asked me. You condone the blacks? Ain't no condone about it. They're my friends. They're just like us. You just didn't want them in there. And I'm not for that. And you know what? As far as I'm concerned, everybody that eats in here that I know will probably never be back.
Oh, this is going live. I'm posting all of this.
Jesus Christ.
I apologize, y'all's first night.
You can't fix stupid, sir. You cannot.
I apologize.
You cannot fix
Hey,
stupid.
just stop. I apologize. Ethnicity or whatever, y'all my friends, and I'm not going for that.
Just tell me what was said when you walked out.
When I walked out, he jumped all over me and said, so you condone sitting at the table with the NIGGERS?
You can. Thanks. I seen that a few months ago. I thought that was really that's a true friend right there to speak up like that. Very very appreciated.
When does open carry go into place?
Now it's now.
Well, I'm not doxing the place because I don't know that this made like national news, but this was all over social media.
Yeah, it was all over social media.
Yeah.
That wouldn't go.
But was he the owner that he was talking
Yeah,
to?
he was the owner.
Oh my
God! It was his establishment. Yeah, it was.
Well,
his
technically, I think it was his wife's. He just kind of at least.
Well,
that was
you should dox it then.
Yeah, but
That's
the place
the
is
co-owner of Nick's in the Sticks.
Oh, Jeff's on it.
Oh,
Jack
okay.
Maltz.
I did see the name of the place in the video, so we're not really doxing them.
Yeah.
But also, where?
I feel like that was in Alabama.
It's in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and the gentleman sticking up for his friends, mad shout out, Hunter Sartain was his name.
Thank you, Hunter.
He's
My
a good
God.
guy, Hunter. I'm
Yeah.
not coming down to Tuscaloosa, so I stand strong with you, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to go to the restaurant personally. I just want to see what it is.
You do?
Well, I want to test. Well, listen. It's 24, not 1924. He can't really do what he wants to do if he came down there. I just want to see what he. I just want to.
Okay. Well, I want you to bring Baltimore back up when you go.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I'm going to tell them that I'm related to the people that they said that to.
Right. Right.
And they'll believe it.
Yeah, I'm one of his cousins. They'd be like, "Really? All y'all look alike anyway." Probably say something like that.
I know it was a sort of a joking comment Jess made, but that guy probably actually would believe it if you said that to him.
Yeah.
He probably would. So you condone sitting next to these guys?
I was just gonna say, like, he didn't have the balls to say anything to like the people that he was actually trying to like talk shit about. He went to the one white guy in the group and was like, "Hey man, but you're racist, right? Like we all agree,
Yes,
right?"
Are you familiar with Cecil County, Maryland?
No, where's that?
It's in
No.
Maryland. It's a county in Maryland. If I'm not mistaken, well, it's definitely the most racist county.
Yes,
But a friend of mine, he moved there many years ago. And when he went to a local bar out there, he said a local dude came up to him and said, "Hey, man." He was a white guy, so he walked up to him and said, "Hey, man, you know anything different about this place?" He goes, "No, not really." He said he looked around and said, Ain't no ends around here, man.
Wow. Well, I
says-
mean, I believe, like, growing up in Virginia, there have been a lot of things said around me that I'm like,
good
wait.
God, yes.
I'm like, wait, what about me? Did you think that I would be cool with you? It's just,
yeah.
Well, it was the same.
They really-
it was the same
they really-
situation in the video. The guy,
Yeah, they
thought
really
the
just think-
restaurant owner, the husband, or whoever he was,
yeah.
thought he could, just fuck around with this guy, and he fucked around, and he found out.
He found out, yeah. But it's
And now
just
he's
so
regretting
crazy.
Kindred spirit.
Yeah, he thought, like, but you're white. How are you not racist? How does that happen?
He was
But
surprised.
I thought we were all on the same white piece of paper here. Like,
I thought we was all in the same boat here. We got to get these guys out of here.
That was very good.
And on that note, that was 2024, and that's our show. I want to thank Jeff Hysen, Gina Brown, Jess Feeney, Richard Ojeda, Alyson Chadwick, and Sidney Allen.
Yay,
Thanks,
Good
But before we
show.
go-
Always happy to hear.
But before we go, one final thought on the year 2024. As we look back on the events of this year, one thing remains clear. 2025 will be the year that P. Diddy has the brightest outlook of any of us. 2024 is the equivalent of seeing a lost dog sign just before you run over the dog and realizing everything is okay because it recently escaped from a dogfighting ring. But it wasn't all good news. The events of this year will lead to a new era going far and beyond alternative facts, but we will instead be living in the alternate ending universe where things will get so bad we wish we could make the reality in which we are living in the blooper reel. For example, let's take a concept of an alternate ending of a classic movie, Rain Man. The new ending for the movie goes like this in a 2025 world. As the train carrying Dustin Hoffman heads back to the Walbrook Institute, it crashes, killing everyone on board.
Wow.
Tom Cruise's character is grief-stricken for only a few brief moments, with the grief subsiding when he reopens his somewhat gray market luxury car lot and starts banging his secretary. I, for one, believe this country has some bright days ahead. As bright as the sun giving all of us skin cancer on a day when the low temperatures are a cool 140 degrees Fahrenheit. Of course, we will have no choice but to combat this new reality with our own version of an altered lifestyle. I'm going to try Pilates again, hoping to avoid the embarrassment of my last effort. Everyone was staring at me. Not merely because I'm so out of shape I couldn't do a basic move like bending down to touch my toes, but because everyone could see my erection through my leggings. Of course, despite everything you've heard just now, and over the course of 99 recordings of this show over the past 5 seasons, I'm actually very easy to please. Once I'm done recording this episode, I'm going to head off on a spiritual quest, which, as a Marylander, means I'm going to as many watering holes as possible, convincing my future paramours that I'm a washed-up adult film star, with me knowing I've succeeded, resulting in me screaming like Lexington Steele at the moment of orgasm.
Lexington Steele.
Failing that, I plan to do something simple to find happiness in what will be some dark and difficult days. I plan to go score some OxyContin in a back alley. And if said Oxy contains a hint of fentanyl, I'll talk to you at the next presidential election. That is, if we're all still alive.
God willing.
Yeah.
Happy holidays and Happy New Year, everybody. This episode was written and hosted by Tom Myers with panelists Jeff Hysen, Gina Brown, and Jess Feeney, and guests Richard Ojeda, Alyson Chadwick, and Sidney Allen. Special thanks to DeLane Lewis, Chris O'Connor, and Lucy Strausbaugh. Theme music composed and arranged by Jeroen Vandenhurik. Executive producers Tom Myers, Aaron Duspiva for Oddly Funny Productions, Matt Connarton for ipmNation, and Eddie Carson for Odyssey Radio. Please leave a 5-star rating and a positive review on Apple Podcasts, and don't forget to subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/Tom Myers, for access to ad-free episodes, extended episodes, and bonus clips. And if you're listening to this on YouTube, hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. Thank you for listening, and please visit tommyers.us.